Okay, so a few months ago, at the end of 2025, I found myself in a little bit of a dilemma. You see, I've made a few dozen of these end-of-the-year pop music retrospective videos by this point, and ever since 2019, I've always started off said retrospective with a custom-made mashup of that year's most popular songs, which is put together by my friend Inanimate Mashups, accompanied by a bespoke music video to complement the mashup put together by me. However, for the 2025 video, Inanimate Mashups reached out to me and told me that he currently had a ton of other awesome stuff going on in both his life and career, which meant that he unfortunately would not have time to make the mashup for me this year. So the way I saw it, that left me with three options. One, just skip the mashup this time since 2025 was such a complete dogshit year for the pop charts anyways. Two, get one of my many musically inclined friends and colleagues to help me make the mashup or something reasonable like that. Or three, spend several months teaching myself how to use production software and how to professionally mix music so that I could do literally the entire thing, both the 2025 mashup and the accompanying music video, entirely by myself. Which of those options do you think I picked?
Quiet on the set, please. In 3, 2, 1.
Her name was Kitty. Life is a song, it ends when it ends. See it before, they see it again.
How many hoes in this club? Is it just me and you, my love? You got me all in one. How many days till I can see you work?
If it was up to me, if it was up to me.
Fight till it's due, but as it went on, I was fighting for you. See the text turn green, why the fuck it ain't blue?
Strips, big tits in a street clothes. I got better things you got gone. Man, never need. No one like you.
So many days till I can see you.
This shit don't last long. If you leaving, then leave 'cause your bag's gone. Just know you can never come back.
Smile on my face, ain't being shit. Come and get shit. All you gotta do is just know you go crazy.
Swear they choose me, I'm not choosing them. Don't read your mind, take it by your dream. Ice cream, taking off your booties. You send the money, God, and swear it's coming to you. When you make me get stoned, got a pleasant seat. She sees her baby girl, I know she's gonna scream.
Story to tell, hallelujah.
So can you come pick up your clothes? I had them put it. Baby, I'm a dog, I'm a man. If you're not the one, call me. You're too much feeling, I need something.
Life is so bad, you say no cash, so maybe she never pay.
No more, don't wanna hit that pole.
It was up to me.
But now you better smell my name. Say Drake certified, never boy certified.
You got no misses, but you got a sports car. From Texas, I can tell. Drinking Jack all by myself. Nah, fuck it. Label up the TikToks, now I'm making TikTok music. What the fuck? I need a plan B to detox, but we ain't got time to stop. The charts need us.
Put it to the choir. Can I get the mic a little higher?
Kicking back on your couch, making ice cream across the
Dirty, spooky, hilarious, crazy, dirty, spooky, hilarious. Turn the TV off, turn the TV off.
Hey guys, hope you're doing well today. My name is Sean Fay-Wolfe of Diamond X Studios, and this is Wally the Lizard. Oh, please don't let the fact that I managed to squeeze a mashup out of this year fool you. That doesn't change the fact that the pop music of 2025 was fucking awful.
I want you in the worst way.
Have any of you ever heard of the term enshittification? It's a term that basically means rapid functional decay under the guise of technological progress. You know, like how every electronic in your house needs an app to function now and none of the apps ever work properly. Yeah, that is really the only word I can think of to describe what's happened to pop music in 2025. Like, at this point, the march of technology into the algorithm age has rendered pop music as a concept completely non-functional. Not only was the average quality of the songs topping both the streaming and radio charts astonishingly poor throughout the year, but we've also now reached the point where the correlation between how high a song peaks on the charts and how likely your average person is to know it is basically non-existent. I think we all learned that last February when Kendrick Lamar did a Super Bowl halftime show based on the biggest music event of the 2020s, and I don't think there was a single one of us who didn't have to explain to someone else in the room what the hell he was talking about. This really felt like the year where we passed the event horizon and pop music truly became something that we no longer shared with the average person we walked past on the street, and that's honestly really sad. Earlier this year, I came across a knockoff chia pet online in the shape of Billie Eilish, where the grass you were supposed to grow was her armpit hair. Now, that product is, with no exaggeration, one of the single worst things I have ever seen in my entire life. But you know what? I honestly think it's kind of tragic that 2025's pop music didn't produce one single thing iconic enough to be ruinable like that. If I were to walk up to a random person on the street and say the biggest musical event of 2025 was K-pop Demon Hunters, spearheaded by dueling hits from Huntrix and the Saja Boys, their response would be, yeah, sorry, none of those words are in the Bible. To which I would reply, I'm pretty sure the word demon is actually in the Bible somewhere. To which they would reply, I'm not sure, let me ask ChatGPT about that, to which I would kill myself.
Maybe it's useless.
I don't know if 2025 was just a refractory period after 2024's insane flood of blockbuster releases, but whatever it was, following pop music in 2025 felt like breathing the air in a nursing home. Just this sad, stale decay lingering in the atmosphere. I ended the year outright depressed at the state the pop charts were in. But you know what? I will say this. The title of this video is The Year Pop Music Broke, and broken does not necessarily mean unfixable. You might find this hard to believe, but I don't just hope that pop music will fix itself. I know that it's going to, without a shadow of a doubt. I'm not going to go into detail about why I believe that right now, but suffice to say that I do believe that something is coming. Something that will act as the brutal sucker punch to the jaw that the music industry desperately needs right now. And in the meantime, as we wait for that sucker punch to arrive, guess that's what videos like this are for now, aren't they? Today, we're going to be counting down my picks for the top 10 worst hit songs of 2025, taking an in-depth look at each of them as we go. For a song to be eligible for this list, it has to meet one of these 5 requirements. Returning viewers, please note that I have added 2 new ones to the list this year, so please keep that in mind. And lastly, I will say this. As awful as 2025 has been for pop music, it did at the very least have the courtesy of providing me with a top 10 list where basically every single song on it is awful in its own special, unique way. I mean, you compare it to the video I made last year, and the top 10 hits of 2024 were probably more shocking overall, but that's because the biggest running theme of that year's shitty music was legendary legacy artists trying to make comebacks and failing in spectacular fashion. Like seriously, 2024 felt like spa day at the petting zoo, so many goats were washed. 2025's shit, on the other hand, we've got shitty radio staples, bizarre sleeper hits, embarrassing dramas, behind-the-scenes scandals, and failure across the full spectrum, from sound to writing, from new artists to old, from fallen heroes to no potential flops, and today we are going to unpack all of it. It's finally time, y'all. If we're gonna leave this year, let's leave it all the way.
We are young. There's a fire in our soul. We go big or go home together. We are young. That's right. We're black and we're white, but we all will be tonight forever.
Okay, so we're actually starting off with a little bit of a curveball here, because I've talked about songs which have made me angry at the artist who made them, songs which have made me sad at what the artist has become, songs where I was embarrassed on the artist's behalf, and so on, but I don't think I've ever talked about a giant smash hit song where I feel sorry for the person who made it. As in, wow, that's really unfortunate that this song you put out did as well as it did. Never in my life did I expect to see a song topping the airplay charts and going insanely viral all over TikTok, only to have my primary response to it be, damn girl, I'm sorry that happened to you.
Somebody's watching me, is my anxiety.
I don't know that I've ever seen a more damning indictment of the American public's taste in music than the fact that I know that this song exists. A lot of you probably don't know what I mean by that. Most of y'all probably expected this one to be way lower on the list, and a good number of you will be stunned to hear me say that Doechii is easily one of the most talented people that I have ever put on a worst list. I mean, I know for a fact that me from 2 years ago would have been shocked to hear that, you know, back when the only other song I knew from Doechii was that other shitty sample flip she made with Kodak Black.
What it is, ho, what's up?
But to be fair to the me of 2 years ago, that was before this happened.
And the winner is Alligator Bites, Never Here by Doechii!
The number old dude from 2019.
Doechii's 2025 started by her becoming the second woman in history to win a Grammy for Best Rap Album. And this wasn't just some dumb critic bait bullshit either. No, not only did Alligator Bites Never Heal deserve all the critical acclaim that it got and then some, but the general public agreed with that acclaim, and they were in the process of acting on that agreement.
I was so confused, what should Doechii do?
Multiple tracks from the album went viral during Grammy season, some of them even crossing over and becoming proper chart hits. Everything was going perfect, and Doechii was in prime position to become the next juggernaut of hip-hop. And then, for some fucking reason, her fans go looking through her back catalog, discover this freestyle over the beat to Somebody That I Used to Know by Gautier, which Doechii made in 2019 for her first ever mixtape, and the fans absolutely insisted that Doechii needed to put it out as a single, and that's exactly what she ends up doing. She dusts it off, re-records it as an official studio release, even going the full 9 yards to give it a proper music video, and by the summer, Anxiety has become the most played radio hit in the United States, and it's made Doechii a household name, specifically as the new face of hacky sellout slop.
I bounce back, no pogo, unhappy, no homo.
Anxiety by Doechii is one of the most Pyrrhic victories in the history of pop music, which is absolutely insane when you consider that literally any other avenue in front of her that Doechii could have chosen to take in 2025 would have resulted in a victory that was 100% non-Pyrrhic. Anxiety becoming Doechii's biggest hit is one of the most unfair tragedies in pop music history, right alongside Sammy Davis Jr.'s signature song being a shitty Willy Wonka cover, or Chuck Berry's only #1 hit being a joke song about protecting his dick from snapping turtles. I am mortified by the fact that we live in a world where an artist's fans can dig up a failed experiment they made in high school, and that failed experiment can end up overshadowing a magnum opus like Alligator Bites. It is a straight up affront to God that the woman who made Nissan Altima and Alter Ego is now best known for a lyrical miracle song that rhymes order with Florida.
Corridor from Florida, what's in that clear blue water?
I'll be honest, I feel like a dumbass anytime I try to point out what's wrong with this song, because it shouldn't matter. In a world that made sense, this song's quality would have absolutely no relevance to anybody. Anxiety by Doechii is sub-amateur work released by a child as she figures out what she wants her musical style to be. It's a non-stop string of repetitive, half-formed ideas that don't flow together, have no clear plan, don't map gracefully onto the sample, and wind up as nothing more than the overcluttered beta test that they are. If you heard a kid make this, you'd say, wow, good start, you have a lot of potential, keep honing those skills. But if you're one of the most acclaimed and talented rappers alive, and your fans are begging you to uncrumple some shit from high school that you rightfully chucked in the garbage, what you should do is say, no, that's a bad idea. Because newsflash, your fans don't know what's best for you. Your fans aren't thinking ahead. Your fans aren't considering what the implications on your career will be if you choose to professionally release this. Your fans are not asking the question of, I wonder what the general public will think of me if they turn on the radio and several times a day they have to hear me rapping a bunch of shit I thought as a teenager over an iconic beat that I didn't make.
Money on my juggler, natural hustler, think I need a smuggler up in Russia.
The pop rap of the 2020s has been defined by bad sampling, but I think that Anxiety might be the worst one we've ever gotten, like on a pure conceptual level. I mean, it's a perfect storm. Take a beloved yet historically overplayed song and do nothing with it. Just plop it down, completely unaltered, keeping 100% of the overplay exhaustion and 0% of the love for it. I mean, there's probably a sample somewhere that you can do that with, but it sure as hell ain't Gautier's Somebody That I Used to Know. That song has one of the most unusual, wonky, and purely singular production jobs of any song in pop music history, and it just ends up feeling uncanny when it's being used for anything besides itself.
Okay, next thing, my life is a wet dream. I call it a sex scene. The back is a nice tease. I tried to escape. My life is an X-ray. I'm sorry, a sex tape.
Honestly, screw whatever Taylor Swift was talking about. This is the Shakespearean tragedy of 2025. Doechii should have been hip-hop's saving grace, an artist who redefined what being a rap star meant in the 2020s, and she still could do that, but wow, has this song given her a massive hurdle to overcome. Truly an all-timer miscalculation. It's like if a Nobel Prize-winning poet suddenly became a household name because she wrote a tribute to Poem as Lovely as a Tree on her Tumblr when she was 12, and then she retweeted an AI voice reading it, and it somehow became the soundtrack to a viral challenge about rich kids planting trees that they don't realize are invasive. Oh, and also she twerks in the music video.
'cause we will never die.
2025 was one of the busiest years of my life. I made no secret about that. Like, evacuating my neighborhood because the LA wildfires came within a mile of my apartment was honestly a minor blip in my year when all was said and done. Because of that, I wasn't able to get out that many videos this year, but honestly, the few videos I did put out in 2025, I am really proud of how they came out. And if I had to pick my single favorite moment from any of them, I think it'd have to be this. Mystical Magical by Benson Boone, a song which sounds like someone forced a Chapel Roan song through conversion therapy. God bless you, Benny boy.
There's nothing colder than your shoulder when you're dragging me along like you do. Like you do.
Considering the way that I approached Benson Boone in my Worst Hit Songs of 2024 video, you might be a bit surprised to see this one so low on the list. I know that I am. The truth is that I was originally planning on being way harsher to this song, but, like, what would be gained? Pop music in 2025 felt like its own existence was an inconvenience to itself, so I don't really want to be that mean to a song where you can tell that the person singing was really, really excited to be making it. I mean, yeah, this sucks, but, like, it Mormon sucks, you know?
Once you know what my love's gonna feel like.
Benson Boone just has this innocent aura around him. Being too hard on him kinda feels like being mean to a puppy. I mean, he's just this silly, sheltered little dude who thinks that doing backflips makes him the absolute coolest guy. He's basically just what Shawn Mendes would be if Shawn Mendes was a hyperactive theater kid who wasn't allowed to have sugar at the cast party. And Mystical Magical is the sound of that kid sneaking a Capri Sun behind his mom's back. Everything about this song's presentation wants so badly to break through my better judgment and charm me, including the bit where he starts, what was the technical term for it again?
Screaming? Like a maniac.
I had a conversation with someone who does vocal coaching about the way Benson uses his pipes, and she basically confirmed that, yeah, this is a dude with a huge amount of vocal potential who's being trained in a very poor way. According to her, his coaching is really evident in his performance. Like, it's apparently obvious that he is thinking very consciously about the choices that he's making with his voice. I said that I felt bad for Doechii for being intercepted by her fans before she fully matured, but Benson Boone was intercepted by Luke Bryan and the dude from Imagine Dragons before he matured. Literally not even on my worst enemy, man.
I know you'll come around to me eventually.
Okay, look, I promise that I'm only being, like, 30% condescending when I said that I felt bad for him. Like, I legitimately think that Benson Boone is actually being given some very poor artistic advice by the people around him. And I also mean it fully genuinely when I say I respect the vision that he's going for here. You know, some really out there lyrics, production ripped straight from Tame Impala, like, there is something here. And he is filling a niche, you know, it's good to have music for kids who aren't allowed to listen to Panic at the Disco. You know, like, oh shit, did someone just give that kid a Capri Sun? He's not supposed to have those at the disco. Honestly, he kind of reminds me of another guy named Boone, you know, from back in the 50s, who also made whitewashed quasi-Christian music, and who also did know how to laugh at himself, and was also, you know, the worst.
Trust me once you know what my love's gonna feel like.
Yeah, don't get it twisted. When I say that I respect his vision, it's in the same way I respect the friend who whips up a big old pot of jambalaya that ends up giving me food poisoning. Every bit of sonic abrasion from Benson's other hits is present here in full force, and the Harry Styles filter he's putting over it makes it different, but really no better. Also, not to be ignored is that this is Benson's first big hit where the lyrics that he's saying are just as embarrassing as the way they're being presented. All of Benson Boone's songs before this one had a very straightforward lyrical conceit. I'm grateful for my blessings. Messy breakups suck. Vienna waits for you. Simple, easy, effortless to grasp. All of these are topics that Benson Boone can pull off that are within his wheelhouse. The premise of Mystical Magical is, please stop running away from me, man, because my penis is absolutely fucking excellent.
I don't mind if this is gonna take a million days. I know you'll come around to me eventually.
Yeah, he gets, like, weirdly pushy on this song.
If you give me just a little bit of something we can work it with, but all you do is push me out.
I'm not your boyfriend!
But I like it anyways, cause I think I'm getting closer to you every day.
So yeah, no, I wasn't just being a condescending prick earlier for no reason. Like, there's a decent amount of cringe in here that isn't funny, it's just embarrassing. Also, dude, you have all the raw bad boy smolder of a Cub Scout. Why are you trying to sell yourself as a sex god?
Once you know my love is so mystical, magical.
Now, I'm pretty sure that I'm gonna miss Benson Boone when he's gone. It's kind of like how we all miss Pitbull. Like, you know, the music wasn't good, but you can't say he wasn't living in the moment. With that being said, if Benson Boone ever tries to pull off a line like this, then I don't even care. I'm telling his mom about the Capri Sun, and we're not gonna see him at any extracurricular activities for like 2 months. After listening to Mystical Magical back-to-back with all of Benson's other singles, it's very clear that the person that he wants to be is Elton John. You know, big voice, genre-fluid radio pop rock, self-aware chintziness, ostentatious image that nods to queer aesthetics and presentation without submerging all the way. Yeah, that's the target that he's aiming for. And look, Elton John's a good person to try to be. Props to you for the ambition, dude. But the way it comes across is... well, let's just say that when I hear a self-impressed white dude squawking like a goose who the radio won't stop playing despite him writing inane nonsense about moonbeams...
Moonbeam ice cream, taking off your blue jeans.
I mean, Benson himself admitted that the phrase doesn't really mean anything, so I'm kinda left to assume that it's the same kind of sweet moonbeam that might cause one's heart to beat right out their untrimmed chest.
Your sweet moonbeam, the smell of you in every... Hey, soul sister, ain't that mystical on the radio?
Honestly, even I feel a bit bad saying that Benson was trying to be the next Elton John, but is actually giving the guy who wrote Drive-By. But hey, you landed where you landed, dude. Aim for the moonbeams, get hit by the train, I suppose.
It's mystical, magical.
Tonight.
Okay, quick 10-second break for me to ask y'all to please give this video a like, subscribe, and hit the bell. It takes you just a few seconds to do and is immensely helpful in getting my work out there to more people, so yeah, big thanks to y'all for doing that. Now, let's continue.
Yup, we did a thing. We let our voices ring. Politicians hear us sing. Stop lying.
I ain't feeling back and now she's saying.
One of the biggest stories in mid-2020s music has been the absolute cratering of hip-hop's commercial dominance. Like, to the point where we are currently living through the least profitable time to be a rapper since the heyday of Biz Markie. I'm sure I'll discuss the reasons for that in depth on this channel at some point, so stay tuned for that. And also, let's be clear, you're an idiot if you think hip-hop is dead forever. It's the single most important and revolutionary cultural force of the past 40 years. Just let it rest for a second. With that being said, though, I do think it is fair to say that the boom of trap music in the late 2010s, driven by the shift of music consumption from downloads to streaming, yeah, that's basically over. The next hip-hop boom is going to be a separate phenomenon from that. And because that's over, I now feel completely comfortable in patting myself on the back. Because while there are a lot of things I said in my older videos that I no longer stand by, I was absolutely spot on when I said that Sicko Mode by Travis Scott was our generation's Bohemian Rhapsody.
Have to slot the top off, it's just a roof.
Yeah, looking at it in hindsight, that was a 100% accurate assessment. It's a multi-part suite that took the most cutting-edge popular music genre of its day, grabbed a whole bunch of cool experimental bits from the genre's fringes, and combined them in an extremely digestible way to record-breaking commercial success. It did literally the exact same thing with trap music that Bohemian Rhapsody did with prog rock in the 70s. So yeah, good take, Little Sean. It was absolutely worth the amount of shit you've gotten for it over the years. Yeah, every time that I've repeated this comparison in the past, I have had a lot of people yell at me about it. And the funny thing is that even though my conviction in my comparison has only grown stronger with time, I do also understand more and more with time where that anger is coming from. Because let's make this crystal clear, Travis Scott is not our generation's Freddie Mercury. In one of the dullest and most unengaging years of chart watching that's ever existed, Travis Scott's 4x4 debuting at #1 on the Hot 100 right at the start of 2025 was one of the biggest shocks of the year for all the wrong reasons. To be clear, the shock did not come from the fact that this song immediately set the record for both the biggest fall off of the #1 spot and the shortest amount of time that any #1 hit is spent on the pop charts. That was no real surprise. Releasing songs that do enormous first week numbers and then immediately drop like rocks has basically been this dude's MO for half a decade at this point. I think it's pretty safe to say that Travis Scott is the supreme of pop music. His one and only goal is to be the musical icon of hype beast culture. And Scott seems to feel the same way about his fans that Drake feels about women. No use trying to appeal to them as they grow older. There'll always be younger ones to take their place. Travis Scott's core fan base are the kind of people who listen to him in their car, 6ix9ine in their room, and Morgan Wallen with their families. And as long as vapid teens and 20-somethings want to flex, Travis Scott will be there to soundtrack their inanity. Still though, like I said, this song debuting at #1 totally blindsided me. Both because because it was Travis Scott's first big solo hit in years, completely devoid of the laundry list of features he usually snags to hype up his numbers, and also because it's by some distance the worst sounding single the man has ever put out. All of Travis Scott's other hits sound like hype. You know, I'm going sicko mode, we're letting the Scotts outside, I'm my own fucking franchise. Whereas in 4x4, I can barely even make out his voice, let alone a melody or theme that I'm supposed to latch onto. Far from being cool in the way Travis Scott's songs usually are, this one is only cool in the same way as Vapor Rub used on the chest of a congested baby. I mean, that's the word for it. It sounds congested, like Take Heath threw every single filter he had at the wall and managed to turn a completely forgettable song into a headachy clusterfuck. What's most baffling to me is that said dogshit processing is basically the only thing about the song that stands out. Otherwise, it's just formless, repetitive auto-tune slop dreck. Basically just any other Travis Scott song if you forgot to put in the good part. I feel like an idiot for even checking to see if there are any worthwhile lyrics that could save a bad Travis Scott song. At this point, any sex boasts the guy makes just don't even scan properly to me. The dude feels more like a bunch of microtransactions and promo codes in a trench coat than he does a mammal with a penis.
Gotta be tens at least, I 1v3 these O's.
No joke, the first time I heard this, I honest to God thought he was bragging about being able to win a 1v3 in his own custom limited edition Fortnite skin. I went to check out some of the cringier lines on the song's Lyrics Genius page, only to find no explanations on there, and instead a bunch of annotators screwing around and making Diddy jokes, which, on the one hand, yeah, that sounds like Travis Scott fans, alright. But on the other, can I really get that mad at them? Like, is there a single human being on Earth who's going to thank you for seriously devoting yourself to the task of filling out a Travis Scott Lyrics Genius page? The song is called 4x4, but it might as well be called 6x7, because I don't get it, and I'm pretty sure that Travis Scott is laughing at me because he knows that there is nothing to get. It's one of the worst and least noteworthy #1 hits of all time, and it shouldn't surprise you at all that the only reason this song got to #1 is because Scott promised to donate its proceeds to LA wildfire relief, which, yeah, that is really cool of him, but it doesn't exactly make 4x4 any more palatable as art. And so to that end, well done, dude, because you did, in fact, succeed in making a song that sounds like what being in a burning city felt and smelled like. Well done.
Let's fill our cups. With what? We'll fill them up with love. Cause we don't give up. I'm buying.
Actually sweet. All the time you've spent on me, it's honestly wild.
Taylor Swift will not be appearing on this list. I genuinely have no idea how that happened.
Forgive me, it sounds cocky. Hypnotize me and open my eyes.
Oh, trust me, I'll be talking about her. I am chomping at the bit to get to those dishonorable mentions. But yeah, by some friggin' miracle, every one of the terrible, horrible, no good, very bad songs that Taylor Swift put out in 2025 somehow managed to avoid this list.
But I'm not a bad bitch, and this isn't savage.
There are many, many things that can be said about The Life of a Showgirl by Taylor Swift, but at this point, I think that we need to face an undeniable truth, which is this. When Taylor Swift was arrogant enough to assume that the entire world would care about her dumb, stupid, bullshit billionaire white lady problems, she was objectively correct about that.
Did your girl boss too close to the sun?
Life of a Showgirl sold roughly as many copies in its first week as Michael Jackson's Bad did. Like, physical copies. Taylor Swift is literally selling 1987 MJ quantities of vinyls in the year 2025 while simultaneously shattering streaming records by double-digit percentages. The album is terrible. If she showed it to me before release, I would have told her to dump the whole thing in the garbage, and I would have been wrong about that. That would have been incorrect advice for me to have given.
They want that spring break that was fucking lit.
Taylor Swift is the last titan, the last vestige of American monoculture, and her star power is absolute. It simply does not matter how bad her instincts are, because her instincts are apparently gold by definition. So with that established, here's my next question. What would happen if you took the exact same mentality that led Taylor to write Showgirl, the arrogance, the total lack of musical focus, and the sure-footed insistence that her petty white girl drama is worth having a national conversation about, and snuffed out every bit of personality and star power? Tate McRae is the only woman on earth who does actually like the vehicle. She's pretty easily the biggest breakout pop star of 2025, and I think it's fair to say that not since Billie Eilish in 2019 has a year been so defined by its breakout pop girl. Truly, nobody deserves to be the face of the year that pop music broke more than Tate McRae.
Let's go tip for tap, boy, you asked for that. That's the best you got, was a good one, huh?
So, do you remember the music video for Love Lies, where Normani is putting on her absolute best dance show and a still-closeted Khalid has to watch her with a glazed expression and pretend that he's even remotely interested? Well, imagine that you replaced Normani with Tate and Khalid with a girl who just spent several $100 on a rare Labubu, and that gives you the basic idea of how Tate McRae is trying to sell herself, as well as the reason why it's working so well. The nicest thing that I can say about Tate as a pop star is that for a dancer who sings, I guess she's a better singer than Taylor Swift is a dancer. There was a point early in 2025 where Tate was making some really big, interesting plays, and I thought that her ambitions might overcome her vocal shortcomings to lead somewhere genuinely cool, but by the end of the year, I really couldn't shake the feeling that Tate McRae's musical career was nothing more than a means to the end of her ultimate ambition, which was to become one of the main it girls of the TikTok era at all costs. And then this song ended up confirming those suspicions completely. This song is the sound of mindless consumerism, like on a raw sonic level. That is how it's produced. It's just noise. That's all that it is. There's no structure to this. The melodies all just blur together. It's maximalist with no point to its maximalism. It's swarming your ears with sound, and it's only doing that because swarm is just the default tactic of salespeople these days. It's the same reason the app that controls your fridge has a microblog on it now. Just overwhelm the consumer with so much shit that some of it is bound to enter their mouth by pure happenstance. It is the exact same feeling that One Right Now by Post Malone and The Weeknd gave me. It's like you took the brainwaves of someone who can't watch YouTube without Subway Surfers footage next to it and turned those brainwaves into waveforms. I am horrified to say that this production style is now common enough that I think it needs a name. So I think that I'm gonna call it Orb of Confusion Pop.
What about the Orb of Confusion?
Oh no!
Should've known you'd be the type to change. Thought I might love you again.
Even when I do focus on this enough to pick out individual parts, I hate the parts that I find. This song's melody feels like it was scrambled in a random order, no satisfaction to it at all, and the overall vibe is like she was trying to do Dark Horse by Katy Perry, but then they didn't want to commit all the way to the darkness, so they plugged in a nightlight. God, I miss Dark Horse by Katy Perry. Remember back when bad music was surprising? Remember that time that the woman who made Teenage Dream followed it up with a trap song where one of the dudes from 3 6 Mafia rapped out the line, "She'll eat your heart out like Jeffrey Dahmer"? That was an exciting moment in bad entertainment. Now we're in the entertainment era where Netflix makes a Tumblr sexy man show out of Jeffrey Dahmer, and it makes them so much money that they can now buy Warner Brothers. That is the era that this song belongs to. We're living in an age of all-you-can-eat slop. Sometimes that slop has a dubious chunk in it that sucker punches your gag reflex, and tit for tat is one of those dubious chunks. Like, this is a song that makes me want to deny Oliver Twist his gruel. Like, no more. I am putting a full stop on this shit right now. No slop for you. I admit that it is ironic that this song's production is the part of it that bothers me the most, because let's be real, the way this song sounds is completely perfunctory. The reason this song is big enough to qualify for this list has nothing to do with the way it sounds, it's because it's a diss track. Apparently Tate McRae recently broke up with the Kid Laroi, and now they're making songs putting each other on blast. If you look at the lyrics, you'll see Tate going on in this song about how wrong he is, how messy and immature he is, and how she apparently never expected to hear so many nasty things coming out of the Kid Laroi's mouth.
We were good, I thought we made it to the ending. I was hearing shit I never thought you'd say.
So there you go, oh. Can't make a wife out of a
I mean, were you somehow under the impression that you were dating the man Leroy, or... Okay, let's be crystal clear. I'm not at all trying to imply that Tate bears any blame here. What I am saying, though, is that Tate McRae is an artist. And if you're promoting a song as a diss track driven by your own personal narrative, then at the bare minimum, I expect it to say something about said personal narrative, rather than being a completely by-the-numbers kiss-off track that's every bit as toothless as it is painfully generic. Tit for Tat contains not one solitary personal detail, not one single bespoke line of attack. Tate doesn't allow us even the tiniest glimpse into her inner world, despite the fact that she apparently wants us to be personally invested in this bullshit. This is basically just Without Me by Halsey again, just louder, duller, and worse. And to try to market this watered-down sludge as a diss track in the year of our Lord A minor is utterly humiliating. If you release a diss track and I have to use Google to find out both who it's about and why I should dislike them, that is a truly special level of failure. I saw promise in the Tate McRae who made Sports Car and Revolving Door, but tit for tat is a sad, sauceless headache. And if Tate plans to continue with her transformation into a Capital One branded Barbie doll and making music that reflects that image, then my interest in her career is officially over.
I'm partying without you.
Alright, another 10-second break for me to ask y'all to please leave a comment under this video. If you made it this far in, I'm sure you've got some thoughts on the music we've discussed today, and the YouTube algorithm loves high engagement, so thank you very much for sharing your thoughts. I'll see you in the comment section below.
Keep yours on me, everyone, 'cause we will never die.
So, country music has its own Lil Baby and DaBaby situation now. This is Boys Back Home by Dylan Marlowe and Dylan Scott. It was a big hit on country radio this year. It has a pile of wet tissue paper for a hook, and it's produced like if Florida Georgia Line was bad at making music. And I'd like you to take a moment to really reflect on what I just said.
So I'm gonna raise one up.
I mean, that just sums it up, doesn't it? Hip-hop was so dominant in the late 2010s that we got two giant back-to-back breakout stars with near-identical stage names by sheer coincidence, and now all of that is gone and replaced by a bunch of generic white guys named Dylan. And look, I know that the trap era wasn't perfect. I've had plenty of negative things to say about both of these men, but just for comparison's sake, there is something I'd like to point out. When DaBaby decided it was time to stop being goofy and make a serious statement, he made Intro, a deeply moving reflection on the experience of losing his father right at the exact moment that he had his big mainstream breakthrough. When Lil Baby decided it was time to make a serious statement, he made The Bigger Picture, a rousing Black Lives Matter anthem that broiled with generational pain. When one of the Dylans decided it was time to make a serious statement, he made this.
Gave us that hilltop place to park, gave us them girls that stole our hearts, gave us them books up on the wall, the way we live and the way we talk.
Okay, look, there is a lot to say about this song, and most of it does come down to its subject matter. But before we get to any of that, I'd just like to take a moment to say that I fucking hate that every new guy coming out of Nashville sounds like this now.
Yeah, we sure painted it up, tore down and mowed 2-lane roads, we either stole every sign.
It really should not surprise me that country music is where the heart of butt rock ended up nesting. Like, it's obvious in hindsight that this is where things were gonna go, but that does not make it any less painful. Like, forget Imagine Dragons. Dylan Scott and all the other Dylans and Scotts in Nashville are the true successors to Nickelback. I mean, they've got it all. Generic, pandering music that takes no risks, a disgusting muck spread of a voice, and ridiculous, never-ending industry support that they do not deserve. And the most depressing part is that the more I hear Dylan Scott, the more I find myself appreciating Chad Kroeger. At least he was singing with his real voice.
Every bit of that down home dirt was heaven on earth and we never knew it.
Dylan Scott's voice on this song is what I imagine it would sound like if a shitty PS2 model of a bear tried to sing. Gotta love how chill and spare the production is too, just nothing but the full glory of this man's fallen angelic tones directly into your ear. My guess is that they did that because they really wanted the lyrics to take center stage here.
Good people in a back row pew, good dirt that the corn grows through.
Okay, so at a glance, these are the least noteworthy country lyrics that have ever existed. Like, this is the pure modus operandi of shitty Nashville radio filler. Just non-stop filleting of the small town lifestyle, chanting the same list of cliches over and over again like religious mantra. Church, fields, hunting, yeah, literally just a list, nothing more. It's exactly the same as the luxury porn you see in hip-hop, except it's not even fun, expensive shit. It's just random Americana shit that appeals to people with no life experience who don't realize how bad they have it. But the thing is, and this is the real interesting thing about this song, Dylan Scott actually does realize how bad he had it.
Tore down and mowed 2-lane roads, we either stole every sign or left them in bullet holes. It wasn't nowhere as bad as we all said that it was. Yeah, looking back at it now, this town's been too good to us.
Yeah, for a song presenting itself as an ode to the joys of small town living, Scott spends, like, a pretty good chunk of it talking about how this town had basically nothing of value to offer him for the majority of his upbringing.
Whole lot of not too much to do, all the time in the world to do it.
This man is not shy about all of his hometown's many, many shortcomings. And yet, despite that, his thesis statement remains the same. No, I was wrong to acknowledge those flaws. This is as good as it gets. Better things are not possible. Stop thinking otherwise.
Man, what were we thinking when we said we'd leave it in a cloud of dust? This town's been too good to us.
A song that says, damn, we love our humble little town is one thing, but the song that says, damn, we were wrong to complain about the bad things in this place is another thing entirely. I'm from a small town myself. There is a lot of stuff to love about small towns, but by God is Dylan Scott not making a good case for this one.
We that stole every sign or left them in bullet holes.
Yeah, we can all relate to that, going around town, stealing the signs, shooting at the signs with my gun that my granddad gave me. They say one day they're gonna round up.
It wasn't nowhere as bad.
Yeah, no, sorry Dylan, you're being a little bit too honest here, bro. Your words are telling me that you clearly had no care for this town as you were growing up, and the fact that you cannot think of one single nice thing to say about this place except cornfields exist there and beer is available for purchase. Honestly, if I didn't know any better, then I might even be tempted to say that he was just cynically fetishizing something that he can't even pretend to actually care about for the sole reason of pandering to his audience's bottomless phobia of change.
I can't explain it. Oh, it's something, ain't it?
Yeah, damn right you can't explain it, man. You're not even trying to explain it, because you know that you don't have to. You know who you're making this for. You know perfectly well that the only people listening to this shit are the ones out in the sticks who are stuck using FM radio because there's no broadband out there. Presumably because every time the state tries to do a public works project in your neck of the woods, their shit ends up either getting stolen or left in bullet holes. That naked attempt to profit off of selling ideals of cold-minded complacency is the only thing I can think of when I hear this song. I probably wouldn't feel that way if I could sense even one single drop of sincerity or humility in this song. But again, and I cannot stress this enough, Dylan Scott clearly does not believe a single word that's coming out of his own mouth.
Man, what were we thinking when we said we'd leave it in a cloud of dust?
Dude, don't bullshit me. I know exactly what you were thinking when you talked about leaving in a cloud of dust. And it was something to the effect of, man, if I'm gonna become a famous country singer, then I'd better abandon this dead-end town and move to somewhere where they have computers powerful enough to process my dogshit voice into something halfway listenable. And then that is exactly what you did, probably using more electricity for that vocal processing than your entire hometown power grid does in a full year. The fact that your voice still sounds like pig shit even after all that processing is besides the point. What I'm getting at here is that you, Dylan Scott, are clearly well aware of the kind of opportunities life has to offer when a person spreads their wings. You wouldn't be getting played on the radio if you weren't. And yet, here you are, selling the idea to your listeners that if they try and spread their wings, well then, I guess they're just being selfish and ungrateful to the American way.
Every bit of that down home dirt was heaven on earth, and we never knew it.
That's this song's message. Just repeat back to people the stupid, close-minded shit they want to hear and they'll eat it up, even as you're clearly oozing with contempt for them. And even if you think that's too harsh a way to look at it, it hardly even matters. This could be a Johnny Cash composition about giving lollipops to kittens, and it would still be one of the worst-sounding country songs of all time as long as it came out of this man's mouth. Again, I have spent most of my life living in rural areas. I recognize the real deal when I see it. And what you've made here, Mr. Scott, is nothing more than Someone You Loved if it was written for Aaron Lewis fans. Have fun chewing on that one as you lounge around one of the multiple seven-figure Nashville mansions that you own. God, what a small-town hero you are. And with that, we have reached the halfway point of this countdown, which means that we're going to take a look at some dishonorable mentions, and then we're going to wrap it up for today. The top 5 songs in this countdown will be discussed in part 2 of this video, so please make sure that you subscribe to this channel and hit the bell for notifications so you don't miss that when it drops. So with that, let's take a look at an assortment of some of the worst garbage I heard this year that wasn't quite big enough to qualify for the main list. Okay guys, hear me out. So here's our plan. First, we put all of our effort, like all of our talents that we have, into making something that would actually literally be capable of killing a small Victorian child, and then we try to make a Playboi Carti song if we have time after doing that first thing.
All my bitches buck rope, monkey on the back like Michael Jackson and bubbles, on the track.
This sounds like they were trying to make the worst rap song in the world, and the one good thing I could say is that they did a very good job of that. Yeah, somehow I don't foresee Lin-Manuel Miranda having a future in hip-hop production. You thought I was joking, didn't you?
Don't wanna strip no more, don't wanna hit that pole.
This is basically what 4x4 by Travis Scott was trying and failing to be. And as it turns out, the thing it's trying to be also sucks. Again, the full explanation for why hip-hop is failing right now is beyond the scope of this video, but I'd be lying if I said that so many big stars pushing shit that sounds like this was helping matters. I was originally going to say that this was Texas Roadhouse playlist core, but then I realized that that would be an insult to the Texas Roadhouse playlist, and now I am very sad.
Why's he call you darling?
Why's he call you daily?
I love that Morgan Wallen is the biggest artist in America, and that means that being a possessive nightmare to women is just cool now, apparently.
Does he know your mama? Does he drive your Mercedes? Forever young, I want to be forever young.
Look, David, I know that you are literally not capable of stopping at this point, but dude, Jay-Z already did this, and it sucked. You are not Jay-Z. Cut your losses and go home.
Won't you give me the feeling that I'm forever young?
Also, it truly was only just a matter of time before Ava Max got roped into one of these. I feel bad for her, honestly. Like, just imagine your entire brand as an artist being, tee-hee, you can't have me unless, and then hitting shuffle on your mom's old iPod Nano to finish the punchline. God, what a tragic place to find yourself in as an artist. Sheesh.
Still I stay, I don't regret it. Still ain't cheap, I ain't get credit.
Oh shit, that's right. Cardi B put out her first album in like 7 years, and I completely forgot about it. Man, that's so weird. I wonder why that was.
We'll pay that for you.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's why that was.
About your love, feeling suicidal, but I keep my head up. All the pounds couldn't count you, that's why I need my bread up.
Again, why is hip-hop tanking? I truly couldn't tell you.
Travel around the world and you're the only one that's on my mind. Made me wanna come back home right now, commit homicide.
Yeah, please remind me real quick how many murders Lil Durk is in jail for right now. Like what is it now, like 70? Is Neo one of them?
Bottle rockets in the sky, bare feet in the sand.
This song is basically the Take Me Home Tonight by Eddie Money of our day. You know, a modern act creating a new song that ends its chorus by pulling a direct lift from a legacy act re-recording one of their old songs.
Just like a running sun.
Be my little baby.
Break out of my guitar and play.
So, if we follow this train of logic, then the Ronettes of our modern day are apparently Hootie and the Blowfish. Tracks.
Ain't speaking fast, she made me laugh. I call them Marlon Wayne. Them NFL boys ran a train on you, now you on a team.
This right here is the first song that they're going to play in the ballroom. They are going to ask, why is this playing? But it's going to take them an unforgivably long time to actually turn it off. And on the subject of viral sensations, who I hate that we're still talking about, apparently JoJo Siwa is doing tradwife shit now.
She's precocious, and she knows just what it takes to make a pro blush. She got
Why does her voice sound like the residue that's left behind when you peel a sticker off of something incorrectly?
all the boys think she's a spy. She's got Betty Davis eyes.
And yet, remarkably, still not the cringiest white woman moment of 2025.
It's actually romantic. I really gotta hand it to you.
You know, I will give this song credit where it's due. Saying it's actually romantic to someone who's obsessed with you is so ridiculously petty, catty, and stupid that it actually has worked its way into my vocabulary. You know, kind of like how the Yamcha pose has become a meme.
It's kinda making me wait.
God, you're such a fucking loser, Taylor. Like, you are objectively the biggest winner on the planet. How the fuck are you this much of a fucking loser? This song is the new gold standard for proving that basically every bad thing everyone has ever said about Taylor Swift is true or at least plausible. It makes Look What You Made Me Do look focused, controlled, and justified by comparison. Like, in hindsight, yeah, the entire world siding with Kanye West over me, that would probably make me lose my mind too. So you know what? Thank you, Taylor, for proving to the world that you are actually just a nasty, pampered little bully who's only the lesser of two evils when compared to an actual, literal, abusive Nazi. You might think that Actually Romantic got the dishonorable mention as a representation of every awful thing that Taylor Swift did on that album, but what's actually happening is that I'm putting every single song from Life of a Showgirl in the dishonorable mentions, and this one just so happened to be the first one alphabetically.
But if you can't be good, then just be better at it.
So yeah, on the subject of Kanye, a lot of people says that this entire album gives them real heavy tradwife Hitler particle vibes. Like, there are a lot of people saying that, and I mean, what am I gonna do? Disagree?
It's a good thing I like my friends cancel. You're much too much to handle.
Really, Taylor? The world being what it is right now, this is the language that you're choosing to flirt with and make light of?
Soon you'll learn the art of never getting caught.
Yeah, whatever. Go fucking sell your jeans to someone else, Sydney Sweeney.
Every eldest daughter was the first lamb to the slaughters.
If you Google this song, you will see countless articles about how it's one of the most important songs of our generation. A truly moving, heart-rending piece that has the power to heal broken souls with its sheer introspective lyrical power. We all dressed up as wolves and we looked fire. I've been affected by terminal uniqueness. I'm not a bad bitch and this isn't savage. Every joke's just trolling in memes, everybody's cutthroat in the comments. Sad as it seems, apathy is hot. I know Victoria's Secret, she was made up by a dude.
Everybody's so punk on the internet.
Look, if this song genuinely helped you, then cool. I would never think less of anybody for that. All I ask of you is to please look inward for a second and answer this question honestly. Was Taylor Swift appending a bunch of obnoxious bullshit onto a new mental health term she clearly just learned about really what helped you? Or did the true help come from Googling the song's title and finding some extremely helpful resources on the other end? The point I'm trying to make here is that considering the way her career has been going lately, it really was only a matter of time before Taylor released her own 1-800 by Logic. So this is supposed to be one of the good ones? Woof. Oh baby, can I please fly one of my several private jets over to cosplay as a New York socialite with you tonight? You know, whenever I find myself in the apparently not uncommon scenario where I somehow got the entire western seaboard to fucking hate me. Jesus, fucking zero with world problems next.
Save my heart from defeat, Ophelia.
Hey Taylor, good news. We just got Max Martin back to work with you again. You know, that guy whose entire MO is to write songs where making the melody sound satisfying is the one and only thing he cares about, resulting in the words to most of his songs sounding like bad karaoke translations. Really? Oh, awesome. This sounds like a perfect time to try my hand at Shakespeare. Okay, so I know this next part is going to go over some of your heads, but it is important, so I'm going to try and dumb it down for you. Let's just see if we can make this work. Okay. What is iambic pentameter? Some would say that iambic pentameter is... This is the least mother song I've ever heard, and somehow I suspect George Michael would agree with me. Taylor, that is literally a Team 4-star joke.
If I wanted a dick measuring contest, I'd whip out a ruler and then win!
And the bitch was telling me to back off, 'cause a man had looked at me wrong.
Not gonna lie, by the time I got to this point on the album, I genuinely kind of expected Honey to be a cover of that Mariah Carey song where she's obsessed with how tasty her husband's love juices are. I mean, it's the third song in the canceled Wood trilogy. It would fit the vibe, that's all I'm saying. Thankfully, it is not that. I mean, yeah, it both sounds like and has the lyrical vibes of a conversation some high schoolers with fake IDs would be having in the corner of the dinner party from Get Out, but for this album, that's almost quaint.
We are the crystal gems, we'll always save the day. And if you think we can, but as the 50-cent song plays, should've kissed you anyway.
This one is probably going to wind up as the fan favorite deep cut from the album, you know, by default, since there's nothing flagrantly embarrassing about it.
By default, my favorite way to win!
Honestly, I was going to make fun of Taylor for bringing back Abigail in the lyrics, which I thought was just a desperate bit of nostalgia pandering, but then I learned that this song was apparently written about a real friend of Taylor's who passed away years ago, and her regrets over how she handled that situation, and I was like, oh, yeah, Abigail is like a real person who's actually a friend of Taylor's. Like, this is an actual experience that the two of them went through together that Taylor is writing about. I mean, Taylor has gone so all in on mythologizing and branding every single aspect of her own life and history for profit that I often forget that she's even capable of writing about real experiences and not just playing with storytelling pawns in her own head. I don't really care about it much one way or the other, but it doesn't make me feel like an idiot for listening to it, which is absolutely not something that I can say about...
You don't know the life of a showgirl, babe, and you're never ever gonna.
And here we have the closing track of the album, also the title track, which makes it arguably the thesis statement of the entire project. So, how does it go?
Her name was Kitty, made her money being pretty and witty. They gave her the keys to this city, then they said she didn't do it legitly.
My English teacher, everybody.
They want those bright lights and Balenci shades and a fat ass with a baby face.
Could somebody please explain to me why every song on this album sounds like Cristal, Maybach, Diamonds on Your Timepiece, Jet Planes, Islands, Tigers on the Gold Leash? this sucks, man, because this one is so close. I mean, the chorus is cute, and this is among the sweeter reflections on Taylor's acceptance of her new married life on the album. There's a world not too far removed from this one where this is really cute and charming, but in the world that we actually live in,
They want a contract with Real Madrid. They want that spring break that was fucking lit, and then that video taken off the internet.
and they also want a Sable, a yacht, the deed to a platinum mine, and a 54 convertible to light blue, so hurry down the chimney tonight. Oh, and speaking of coming down the chimney, remember how the last song had Sabrina Carpenter on it? And remember how Sabrina's big smash hit Christmas song has this line in it?
When you're coming down the chimney, oh, it feels so good. I need a Charles Dickens.
We still have one song left to talk about.
Forgive me, it sounds cocky. Entice me and open my eyes. Redwood tree, it ain't hard to see his love.
This is one of the better sounding songs on the album.
Girls, I don't need to catch the bouquet. To know a hard rock is on the way.
Okay, look, Taylor, I really hope that things work out long term between you and Travis. You do seem very happy together, but after hearing this, I have to say, if you ever do find yourself back in the position of trying to find a good suitor, might I recommend trying to get this man's number?
I brag about you to anyone outside, but I'm a man of the woods, it's my pride.
Quite frankly, at this point, I feel like you two kind of deserve each other. Not only because you're giving off real similar energy these days, but especially because if Eras 2.0 is forced to have a bunch of shit from this dumpster heap of an album on its set list, what else can you say but this is going to ruin the world tour?
Redwood tree, it ain't hard to see his love was the key that opened my thighs.
And with that, the dishonorable mentions are done. In just a second, we're going to share what some of you guys had to say about the worst hit songs of 2025. But before we do that, I do quickly have to mention that because I discuss copyrighted music in these videos, YouTube is paying me literally no ad revenue for this video, nor any of my other ones. Because of that, I am 100% reliant on your support on Patreon to get funding for what I do here. So if you have a couple bucks to spare and you'd like to see me continue making these videos, please consider supporting me on Patreon. And by doing so, you'll also get access to rewards, such as access to an awesome community of music lovers on my Discord server, the ability to choose what music I talk about next, early access to my videos before they premiere, and the ability to submit your own reviews of the music I discussed in these videos. And plus, we've got even more rewards besides those. See the link in the description for more information. For the moment, though, it's time to honor some of those rewards. So without further ado, let's take a look at what some of you guys had to say about the worst music of 2024. From Casey Vellante regarding Cancelled by Taylor Swift, I think Taylor Swift has run into gifted kid syndrome, where her old music was well written for the teenager she was, but she hasn't improved since then, and now she's writing cringy garbage as a 35-year-old grown woman that wouldn't be acceptable even for a 16-year-old. From Angely to the Core regarding Actually Romantic by Taylor Swift, how can you misinterpret Sympathy as a Knife so badly? It gives me Mother I Sober's about Kendrick being molested flashbacks. From Charlie MCM regarding Soulful by Justin Bieber featuring Drewski, who the hell made Drewski the judge of whose soul is black and whose isn't? From Joe Warren regarding Unshatter by Linkin Park. Linkin Park's new material since Emily Armstrong was brought on has felt very one note, but Unshatter was the point where the novelty of their return completely wore off for me. This wouldn't even go that hard on the Shadow the Hedgehog soundtrack. From Siska Sinatria regarding Nobody's Son by Sabrina Carpenter, it's always giving me weird vibes how Sabrina's jokey tone clashes with her berating the parents of the guy she dated. Also, we need to have a talk about how Sabrina's gender politics is basically kitschy 80s sitcoms. From Indigo Raccoon regarding Residuals by Chris Brown, the song is boring and sucks bad, but what I'm more curious about is why Billboard had it go recurrent and then just undid it for some reason that seems to just completely go against its own rules. You do that for Chris Brown of all people? Of all artists? From Samuel Doherty regarding Anxiety by Doechii, God, I hope she releases something soon, because if people remember this as her last single, her next one isn't going to sell well. From Charming Tiger regarding No Pull by Don Toliver, I can't get past how weird Don's voice sounds on this one. Sounds like he's honking at me. From Smooth 22 regarding After All the Bars Are Closed by Thomas Rhett, somehow a worse Wallen song than 38 other Wallen songs from this year. And last but not least, from Tiny Bubbles regarding Mystical Magical by Benson Boone, bad songs are always worse when you can't avoid them, so the fact I've been forcefully subjected to this ear-grating train wreck thanks to Target using it in their unskippable Christmas ads with a more festive mix, fuck off. If you'd like to submit your own review in the next video, you can do so for a pledge of just $2 per video on Patreon. Thank you to all of my supporters for your extraordinary support, and I can't wait to see y'all next time. One more time, make sure you're subscribed and you've rung the bell so you don't miss part 2 when it drops. And again, if you could leave this video a like plus a comment below, that would be very deeply appreciated. I'm Fay-Wolfe of Diamond X Studios. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, take care of yourselves.